understand? If Republicans truly thought Mamdani would be a spectacular failure for the Democratic Party, then what better opportunity than to let the fucking Democrats fail on their own so they can constantly present Mamdani as the failure, the celebrated National Democratic Party figure. How do you not see this? The thing that these people fear most is change. The thing that Democrats fear most is having to actually do their jobs, having their constituents actually wake up to the reality that there could be better candidates out there. That's how Donald Trump won. Democrats thought that a right-wing populist charlatan like Donald Trump would be the best possible candidate. He would get destroyed by Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton did this with Donald Trump. They propped Trump up. And look what happened to the party. Now imagine if there was a Trump-style left populist momentum in the left flank of the Democratic Party. All of a sudden, the Democrats actually reflected the values that they are supposed to champion. They do push for those policies all of a sudden. What happens then? Even more myopic, if Mamdani and left progressive Working Families Party DSA types become a viable option, Republicans lose their lane in blue state duopolies to centrist Dems. There's also the issue of Israel as well. They need to punish a guy who uncompromisingly said fuck Israel throughout the campaign. They have to punish him. Otherwise, other people are going to be aware, other politicians, young politicians that want to make a name for themselves are going to recognize that, oh, if you say fuck Israel, you can get a lot of votes. That's also a terrifying prospect for many. Why are you mad at me? I'm not. What? Not only that, but that would also mean one of the most populous and blue cities in America would turn red because of how badly Mamdani would fail, further solidifying the right's hold on America. It literally makes no sense. Exactly. If they truly thought Mamdani would be a spectacular failure, they would let him win the race. They would let him win the race so they can always point back to Mamdani's failure as a clear-cut, obvious indication that socialism is destined for failure. Now, this doesn't end with Mamdani's victory. There's a lot more work that must be done because even after he wins, inshallah, there is still going to be a lot of hurdles thrown in his direction. People are trying to constantly fuck him for the same exact reasons that I just mentioned, because those motivations don't go away once he magically wins and becomes the Democratic mayor of New York who happens to be a socialist. Holocaust Museum LA said never again can't only mean never again for Jews. Wait, what the fuck? Holocaust Museum of LA is woke? Wait a minute. Jews must not let the trauma of our past silence our conscience, standing with humanity. Wait, what the fuck? Wait, hold up. This is a real tide shift. Hey, yo. What the fuck is this? Wait, this is shocking. Hold up. The Holocaust Museum of LA is implying that Israel's doing a genocide and Jews must speak out? Did they get hacked? Or is there an actual tide shift happening? Because normally, a lot of the Holocaust museums in this country have been active participants and direct defenders of Israel's apartheid structure and its genocide. This is a unique change. Never again can't only mean never again for Jews. For the record, I mean, this is a real positive shift. Yeah, Holocaust Museum, more like Hamasacost Museum. Fucking got him. Guys, it's not many US Jews separating themselves from Zionism that's like unique. These institutions for the past 23 months have actively attacked critics of Israel and used cynically their position as like the people that are supposed to educate people on the dangers of genocide and the Holocaust specifically to unironically call every single fucking critic of Israel a Nazi. I don't think you understand. Like the American Holocaust museums and these foundations have played a formative role in propping up the Israel defense. So much so that the Holocaust Memorial Foundation literally changed in their Arabic translation the Warsaw Ghetto Intifada to the Warsaw Ghetto Mukawama because people kept pointing to their website to say Intifada just means uprising. Look at the Holocaust Museum. On the Holocaust Memorial Foundation's website, on the Arabic translation, it literally says Warsaw Ghetto Intifada. That's what Intifada means. It's just an Arabic word. You're just afraid of Arabic. Now, this is still obviously not going hard enough, but within the limited confines of being critical, I mean, this is great. I mean, this is a welcome change of attitude. Yes, Mukawama is the M in Hamas. The museum shit on a pro-Palestinian activist 2 days ago. People are brought up to hate Jews even when they've never met a Jew. Wait, what are you talking about? Oh, you mean this? Harassing Jewish artists is not activism. Regina Spektor was recently interrupted and harassed at a concert in Portland by a pro-Palestine activist. Artists are not governments. Jewish people are not stand-ins for global politics. Let's hold space for real activism. If you want to make a change, we need to have meaningful conversations. She supports Israel's actions in Gaza. It's not like people yelling at Larry David or something. Let's see how the Holocaust Museum of LA's fans, the 23,000 followers, responded to this last post. Wait, did they delete the comments? What the fuck? Did they shut off the comments? Why can't I find the comments? Why can't I see the comments? I was just capable of seeing the comments a second ago. There's 423 comments. They deactivated them while I was looking at it. Now, of course, what's crazy about this is, I think this is the Holocaust Museum that I ball next to sometimes. Did they just block you? Nah. Genocide against any group is wrong. We should all stand against it. But we can easily make this statement without all lives mattering. The phrase never again was really never again. Masada Fall, poem by Yitzhak Lamont after liberated Buchenwald. At a time when the Holocaust distortion and denial are on the rise, largely due to the universalization of this is disappointing to see. What DEI department intern posted this? Oh, that's not. I can't express how much I appreciate this post. Thank you. Did JVP take over your social media? Jewish Voice for Peace, by the way. What exactly are you trying to say here? What in the blood libel hell? Let me know where to send me resume for social media job opening you'll be posting. So now you're using phrases that our haters use. Why all lives matter? Your own people. Don't all lives matter? The situation is shameful. What the fuck? They're doing the reverse. All lives matter. Don't all lives matter us when the hostages are starving like Auschwitz victims for 700 days. Israel is starving them, you fucking moron. I did like it. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. I didn't like that comment on purpose. Is Qatar funding you? Fire whoever conceived this post at Holocaust Museum LA. We're facing blood libel at astounding levels, and you're making it worse with this bullshit. Bro, that's so funny. I hope this is a wake-up call for at least some people who are still in the margins at this point that work at the Holocaust Museum of LA that are like, yeah, we posted this like basically the most non-controversial take that we can. This is like still the actual take is, you know, not in our name. It's ridiculous that you know, this is happening, and Israel cynically weaponizes this notion that like this is being done for Judaism, you know. They don't even say Israel, they don't say Palestine. Like, it's not Miss Rachel ass take, but still butthurt. Yeah, this is like the most like, come on guys, can we be a little fucking chill? Like, this is the Holocaust Museum being like, come on guys, we're Jews, you're Jews, like, can we just fucking chill out a little bit? Like, there's some serious stuff going on here. Can you please shut the fuck up? Like, can you please just like be anti-genocide unconditionally? And motherfuckers are like, how dare you say that? No. Some genocides are good, actually. An 80-year-old lady on her laptop here in Long Island just fell to her knees in Starbucks. What is happening? They vaguely imply Gaza and genocide with this post. No, I know. But even that is, I mean, there's no way this stays up. I'm going to be honest with you. There's just no fucking way. You're going to have like major donors threaten to pull funding and shit. Okay. I don't see this. It's literally just this. I hope they stay. I hope they keep it. Times of Israel about to lose their shit with this one. Oh yeah, clock ticking on bill to make California first state with anti-Semitism watchdog in schools. Dude, what the fuck is going on, man? What the fuck is going on? Like, there was the whole like Beverly Hills saga where they were like, we're gonna put up the Israeli flag on our big beautiful schools in Beverly Hills. Like, what the fuck are you thinking? They straight up were like, we're gonna put the Israeli flag in honor of like combating anti-Semitism. Okay, at a time when there is unprecedented anger, justifiable anger, mind you, against the state of Israel, and like the smart, self-interested, self-preserving thing for any Jewish person to do is to say like, yeah, this is not me. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, which is the truth, right? It's supposed to be the truth. That's why you're in fucking Beverly Hills. You're not in Tel Aviv, right? And these guys are like, nah, man, nah, this is me. This is my shit. I love it. And it's also for Judaism. Remember, the Jews did this. Is a crazy thing to say. How the fuck do these guys still not realize? Like, sure, if you live in Israel, I understand why you think everyone is anti-Semitic. The world is against you. Everyone is Hamas, okay? Because you're surrounded by motherfuckers who also feel that. And you've been primed into thinking that, like, anyone that tells you that, like, Arabs are human, for example, is a disgusting anti-Semite, okay? But, like, if you're in America, if you're in the Beverly Hills area, if you live in the United States of America, what the fuck are we doing? What are we actually doing? What, like, there's no way that you're that hugboxed to not realize why people hate Israel. Anyway. Yeah, they scrapped the idea because of the backlash. The local report on it suggested that there was so much anti-Semitism that came from this idea.
Flags in Beverly Hills schools.
Tonight, while the school board reversed a controversial decision in what one board member says about receiving hundreds of hate messages. Fox 11's Chelsea Edwards is live in Beverly Hills with that story. Chelsea.
Yeah, it sounds like the school board got a lot of backlash after this controversy.
Yeah, no shit. What the fuck? Hey guys, in honor of combating anti-German hatred, we're gonna put the swastika flag on. like, what are you doing? Hello, we are the American Bund. We're the American German Bund movement. And we're America first. And we think it's really fucked up that a lot of people are hating on the Nazi government. They're just trying to do what's best for the German population. These hate messages that are being, these hate messages against the German population cannot continue. We need to put up the swastika flag on all of our schools to remind people that America stands with the Germans.
Controversial decision about its plans to display Israeli flags during Jewish American Heritage Month. Now it's scrapping that idea.
Yeah, like, dude, Jewish American Heritage Month? The fuck does Israel have to do with that? You know? It's not Israeli American Heritage Month. It's Jewish American Heritage Month.
Motion passes. The resolution has been adopted.
With that, the Beverly Hills School Board votes to revise a controversial decision that sparked a firestorm. Now, Israeli flags will not be displayed in the district schools during the month of May.
Dude, oh God, Beverly Hills is so fucking annoying. I know LA kids don't like this. I mean, there are definitely a lot of alumni and former, kids that went to Beverly Hills schools that definitely do like this. Okay, let me tell you, my fucking neighbors. All right, they probably love this shit. Okay, there are some who don't, but not a lot. Okay.
We are here to educate and keep our kids safe. And this resolution, it just brings us back to an even playing field where we're not trying to take a side or run with a certain cause. It's neutral.
Friday's emergency meeting was called after the fallout from a heated vote on Tuesday when the board narrowly approved displaying Israeli flags in schools as part of a resolution to fight anti-Semitism. Since then, one board member says she's received more than 400 hate messages.
I don't know if you guys anticipated the amount of undue stress and self-inflicted wounds this
Your Persian neighbors? Oh, some of them, yeah.
did to our standing as a district.
Just days after the vote.
Yes, dude. Some of them. Oh my God, the Persians. Oh my God. Some of them are the most rapacious dick riders of the state of Israel. It is, holy fuck, bro. It is crazy, okay? You don't understand. You will never understand it. That's unironically part of the reason why I wanted to move to New York, because I can't stand my neighbors and their politics, man. Holy fuck, brother. Oh my Lord. Oh my Lord.
Superintendent Alex Chernus blocked the move, citing safety concerns.
I made the decision based on.
Is that Shia Sunni divide type shit? What are you talking about? No, man, they're not Muslim. They're Persian Jews that live in Beverly Hills that fucking love Israel and are deeply ashamed of ever being connected to Iran. Unless it's the Shah that comes back. The Shah writers.
The misinformation out there based on the fact that this is a highly charged issue. I think the purpose of this resolution is to calm everybody down and make it very clear that when we fly the flags in front of our schools, it'll only be the U.S. flag and the flag of California. Thank you.
Supporters of the original resolution said the flags would show solidarity with Jewish students.
This was what was going on, by the way. This was fucking smack dab in the heart of Beverly Hills for like a year and a half. And they had drone coverage over it. They had 24/7 security so that nobody gets any ideas. It was crazy. This shit, I drove past shit every fucking day, dude. Every goddamn day to be like, hey, by the way, just remember, you know, this is like it felt like it's not an immediate comparison, but the vibe is so similar to having like a Confederate statue get placed right outside of a courthouse during like the civil rights struggle. You know what I mean? Like it's like the same purpose. Just straight up being like, listen, you just know what the fucking pecking order is here, you know? They had security protecting a bunch of flags? Yeah, because they didn't want anybody to fucking... They didn't want anybody to get any ideas, okay?
Critics argue they symbolized support for Israel's government and military and don't belong in public schools.
Are you not embarrassed? Are you not ashamed? How did you, in front of the whole world, fail an open book exam with a cheat sheet? You proposed to curb anti-Semitism with a resolution. That resolution, as originally drafted, was steeped in anti-Semitic tropes.
You need to remember why you're here and
My goat. My goat. Hold on. Okay, Daniel Livshits. Okay, Daniel. Let me run that again. Let me run it back. Let me run it back for everybody that didn't understand.
Whole world, fail an open book exam with a cheat sheet. You proposed to curb anti-Semitism with a resolution. That resolution, as originally drafted, was steeped in anti-Semitic tropes.
you need to remember why you're here and stop wasting time on flags and uniforms and what songs teachers talk about.
Schools are for learning, not for political messaging on any side.
So for now, only the U.S., California, and the Beverly Hills Unified School District's flags, once they are made, will be able to be flown on Beverly Hills campus.
I mean, it is dual loyalty trope, by the way. It literally is. That's why he's pissed. Like, the fuck do you mean? In order to preserve Jewish American heritage, we have to literally fly the flag of a foreign nation? What the fuck are you doing? Are you trying to make people crazier than they already are? What is this? No, the 100 flags and 2 American flags is because of the people that died, I think, on October 7th. That's what it was. There's more than a couple American flags in there. That right here, this was October 7th thing. Smack dab in the fucking heart of Beverly Hills, like right next to the Beverly Hills Park, where they had those flags to remind everybody, you know, like, look at what happened on October 7th.
Critics argue they symbolized support for Israel's government and military and don't belong in public. Now, only the U.S., California, and the Beverly Hills Unified School District's flags, once they are made.
They had 3 mobile police towers and a cruiser a block away when I drove by one night. That shit was crazy. 24/7. 24/7. There was also drone protection as well. Do you understand? 24/7. Yeah, they should fly the Jewish Labor Bund if they want to fucking fly a flag, you know? Not American, but
be able to be flown on Beverly Hills campuses. The district says it's continuing to look for other ways to honor Jewish American Heritage Month. Reporting live in Beverly Hills, I'm Chelsea Edwards, Fox 11 News. I'll send it back to you.
Go ahead.
Do we have time for a question? So I thought the superintendent works for the school board, but he can overrule their vote, which they then changed anyway?
He made the suggestion. Yeah, he made the suggestion, and then they gathered for an emergency meeting today to make this vote, to make it official. So his suggestion was based off of what he considered security concerns, and that's what was echoed through a lot of this meeting that took about an hour and a half today, where they discussed, they made tweaks,
every Beverly Hills United School District school has to also say 10 M Israel highs in the morning, you know, to preserve.
You don't have to worry.
No, I mean, Abby, your point is well taken. More than one thing can be true at the same time, and we just got to accept that.
Right.
And the judge made a ruling. So legally, the Trump administration will get a chance to appeal, and I agree with that.
Queens Bodega named Gaza Deli and Grill ignites fear among Jewish New Yorkers, including October 7th survivor. I'm still not safe. Then fuck off, okay? Then fuck off. Leave the country, okay? Go back to Israel. The fuck do you mean you feel unsafe? Oh my God, the mere mention of Gaza. Like, this is what I mean. You're just a fucking racist, dude. What are you talking about? It's like when racist white people, like Klansmen, being like, well, there's black people around, and that makes me feel unsafe. Okay, that's a you problem. That's a fucking you problem. You got to deal with that. You should be ashamed to openly. You should be ashamed to openly. What the fuck is this Substack, bro? Hey, you get mentioned in the first phrase, dude. Perma. Substack for some fucking trot, I think. I don't know, saying communists must move beyond Cold War campism and return to revolutionary and internationalist anti-imperialism. And then it's a Substack article that mentions me in the most like cynical, idiotic framework. While I'm in the process of talking about some other shit. Oh my Lord, dude. That's crazy. We've moved beyond, bro, we've moved beyond like slop tubers. Now we're doing random fucking slop substackers. Oh my God. Why'd you permit them, Hasanabi? So uncharitable. Take a week off. Oh my God, what's next, bro? Hey man, my goat, someone tweeted at you. It's got 3 likes. You have to look at it. It's just random sock account, but you have to look at it. You need to. Anyway. This is no different than a racist white supremacist saying, it scares me that black people are able to drink from the same water fountain, and it should be treated as such. So much of the pro-Israel fake hysteria, the cynical weaponization of anti-Semitism, comes from just straightforward anti-Arab, anti-Muslim sentiment, okay? It's just hatred through and through. And yet, we have, for far too long, allowed this kind of sentiment to continue as though it's a sincere request. Okay? When a Christian nationalist person turns around and says, it scares me that there are black people around me, you don't actually take that shit seriously. You go, shut the fuck up, you're racist. Suck my dick. But when someone goes, I'm Jewish and I am fearful as a Jew that Muslims are scary. They're using Muslim words. They're doing this. They're doing that. It scares me as a Jew. You're like, we just have to go, oh, okay, sorry. Oh, if it scares you, what can I do, my king? And what do you mean? You're just a fucking racist. I don't give a shit if you're a Jewish racist or a Christian nationalist racist. You know what I mean? The fuck? You're an ultra-Zionist and also a racist. No, ultra-Zionism is racism anyway. What is this? You've been getting pissed off at white America expressing empathy for Palestinians? What? What?
And as it goes up the chain, we will see what happens.
You can criticize the Trump administration. You spent the whole campaign criticizing Democrats. You put the Republicans in power. Self-hating Quebecois. First of all, you're Canadian. Okay? So see yourself out of this conversation. Number two, if the campaign actually listened to my very reasonable criticisms that literally ended up, actually, as I said it would, causing the campaign to lose to Donald Trump twice now, okay? The expectation from you is that I should have shut the fuck up and lied and said, and told you a lie. That's it. You want me to lie to you. You want me to go, hey, everything that I'm seeing that this campaign is doing that's wrong, that's going to inevitably lead to the demise of the Democrats, I'm just going to fucking lie to you about. I'm going to tell you, nah, it's actually awesome that Kamala Harris said she's a small business. That's great. It's bait? Okay, take a week off.
But to a hammer, everything is a nail. And so I do not necessarily believe that the president, through his actions on this issue, really tried to work this out without penalty first. He went in to penalize first instead of saying, let's take care of this and get this right. I'm glad that Harvard admitted it, working to rectify it. Discrimination, racism, bigotry of any form should not be tolerated on any campus.
Why did this film break?
So, Voice of Hind Rajab has been produced by, I think, like Joaquin Phoenix and a bunch of other people. And it's making its rounds through the awards circuit. Okay? And as a part of this, it was at the Venice Film Festival. And in the aftermath of the Venice Film Festival showing, there was a 23-minute standing ovation. Okay? There's a 23-minute standing ovation. Now, it's being produced by like Hollywood legends, right? And on the one hand, I feel like this is offering some semblance of justice for Hind Rajab, who was assassinated by Israel in her parents' car, and then the Palestinian Red Crescent medical team that tried to reach her were also killed in the process. And there's a 23-minute phone call that took place between Hind Rajab and the Palestinian Red Crescent. And now Hollywood has made this fucking movie. And on the one hand, I think this kind of tearjerker is good for broad awareness, I suspect. But I feel conflicted. It was a 3-hour phone call. 23 minutes was a standing ovation length. Yeah. I fucked it up. Anyway. I think there is something about this process that I feel very icky about. There's something about this process that I feel conflicted on. I said conflicted on the Hind Rajab movie standing ovation. It feels like a socialist German filmmaker making a movie about Auschwitz while the gas chambers are still running. Important for awareness. But Israel's still genociding children like Hind with impunity every day. We must stop it. And I don't want to be the friend who's too woke, because I do see the benefit of this, right? I do see the silver lining, because after all, what do? I try to do awareness every single fucking day. And and this is supposed to be a multifaceted approach, If you're an artist, you use your art to try to get people on board. If you're a movie maker, you use your movie to try to get people on board. But at the same time, I feel like this is still ongoing. This is still fucking ongoing. The people in that room, the people who played a role in making this, they could be making a bigger fuss, I feel like. George Clooney should be on television being like, yo, Israel is a genocidal apartheid state. The fuck are we doing? Politicians need to stop with this nonsense. You know? I know it's to get more awareness, chatters. I understand. I'm not saying it's bad that they made the movie. Here's what BM said. I really hate you said. Of course, it's great that the voice of Hind Rajab received such a sympathetic and warm public response, but am I the only one who can't help but be bothered by the insane dissonance when watching this video? Precious little Hind Rajab was brutally murdered in a destroyed city, being bombed and intentionally starved, right before the eyes of a complicit idle world. This isn't history. It's still happening right now. Every day, there are dozens of Hind Rajabs in Gaza being butchered in their decimated millennia-old home simply for being Palestinian. Meanwhile, in Venice, although it could have been LA, Tokyo, Amman, or even fucking Tel Aviv, wealthy, influential people are wearing their fancy suits, indulging in an extravagant event, being served cocktails and hors d'oeuvres by working-class waiters, and having an evening of culture and entertainment while watching poor Hind's story. Venice is just 2,500 kilometers away from Gaza, a mere 4-hour flight from the Tel Aviv airport, named after the orchestrator of the 1948 Nakba. Yet it feels like a whole different world, a spoiled and content world, who takes just a moment in the middle of this indulgent celebration to shed a tear and give a standing ovation in honor of a little girl murdered in a Holocaust that is still being carried out in full force. Their teardrops on their $1,000 iron suit, while at the same time, 4 hours away, another Hind Rajab is being murdered in a destroyed city, bombed and starved to death. And those who brutally murder those thousands of Hind Rajabs are still considered allies in Venice, in Italy, in Europe, and in the entire West. Hell, there must have been some Israelis in that audience last night, some modern-day Nazis who came to watch a film about Auschwitz while the showers are on and the crematoriums are working at full capacity. That was so moving, they'll tell their date, while waiting for a taxi to take them back to their fancy hotels. Gotta get some hours of shut-eye. Breakfast buffet opens at 7. Anyways, congratulations to the creators of this important movie. I sincerely hope it drives some viewers into real action. So that's I mean, this is kind of how I feel about it too. Like I am conflicted on this because not only are there still tens of thousands of Hind Rajabs that are waiting to be saved, okay? There are hundreds of them that get slaughtered every day with impunity. Okay? This is not something that happened in the past that is important for people to understand. This is something that is ongoing. So if all this amounts to, in the aftermath of watching this movie, if all that amounts to is, oh, I felt so sad and then that's it, then this is an abject failure. It's exploitation, as a matter of fact. We need this to compel people to take action, powerful people to take action. Do you see what I mean? Because this is still happening. It's still happening. Like, I'm not disparaging the people that also put their careers in jeopardy for putting this out there. Okay? I'm not. I understand the power that propaganda holds. I myself do this every day. If I didn't think that this was a medium that could change people's minds, then I wouldn't be doing this. But unlike many of those people in that room, I will say, I do everything in my power every single fucking day. And I know many of you in here do as well, to move the needle in the right direction. So I hope that the people that played a role in this, Joaquin Phoenix and all these other people, and it's great that they're doing this. Like, I hope that they do more, and I hope they compel others to do more. You know? There's this concept scholar, Robert Fowler calls interpassivity. He gives an example of Wall-E. When you watch Wall-E, it does your capitalist resistance for you. Wait, is it effing again? What's happening? Not on my end. When you watch Wall-E, it does your capitalist resistance for you. I think your content is the opposite of that. And it seems like maybe this movie encourages interpassivity. Is doing the anti-apartheid for you. By the way, I got this idea from the OG Mark Fisher in his capitalist realism novel. Delay is bad. I don't have any Fs. It didn't happen on my end, and I don't know why it happened on yours. As a Palestinian, I tell you, we need all actions and awareness. The creative class expresses it this way. I take it. Political pressure needs to continue along with art, sports, and all other areas too. Every little counts. No, I agree. I do. I agree with that. That's why I'm not like saying this fucking sucks. Why did they make this? Right? I'm not saying that at all. I hope that this causes people to move and it urges people, it gets people to recognize the seriousness, the humanity of the Palestinians, and the seriousness of the severity of the violence that they're experiencing.
The record for the longest standing ovation at nearly 24 minutes. And who is it about? The film The Voice of Hind Rajab premiered at the Venice Film Festival on Wednesday. It tells the story of Hind Rajab, the 5-year-old Palestinian child who became a symbol of Israel's atrocities in Gaza. Her story began on January 29th, 2024, when Israel's military told residents of Gaza City to evacuate immediately. So Hind's family got in a car and began to drive north. But a few hundred meters later, they stopped. Hind's 15-year-old cousin Leanne called her uncle to tell him they were surrounded and Israel's army had opened fire on the car, killing everyone inside apart from her and Hind. The Palestinian Red Crescent Society, or PRCS, made contact with Leanne that afternoon.
الو مرحبا. ايوه بتدخل علينا. الدبابة جنبي. انتوا متخبيين؟ في سيارة احنا جنبينا الدبابة. انتوا جوا السيارة؟ الو
62 gunshots could be heard over just 6 seconds as Leanne screamed for her life, and the call ended in just under a minute. The PRCS called back immediately and Hind picked up.
ميتين؟ وهم هلا معك بالسيارة؟ هي جاية عليكي من قدام السيارة الدبابة؟ قريب كتير؟ كتير وعم تمشي؟ طيب ما بدنا نخاف؟ نحكي معي أنا معك يا عمري.
The Red Crescent got permission from Israel's defense ministry to send an ambulance to try rescue Hind, but as the ambulance turned onto Hind Street, explosions were heard.
So, for the record, like, here are the things that are important, right? 1, the film was made in collaboration with Hind's mother, Wassam, the Palestinian. Oh, I hate this shit, dude. It's so fucking annoying. It was not all of Twitch. I'm lurking a couple gamers and their streams were fine. I mean, a lot of big streamers went down, I guess. How can you have such fucking shit internet in the USA? A question I ask myself all the time, my friend. Are we delayed? No. Are you good? No, I'm not good. We went from fucking 30K to 17K with on a moment's notice. The fuck am I doing? People just leave as soon as it. I mean, I can't fault them. They just think like it's over. I don't know if it's a Twitch related issue. Oh no, your bots are gone? Yeah, that's what happened. No, dumbass. If I had bots, they wouldn't go away. I literally wouldn't actually lose any viewers if it was bots, dummy. We do know it's clearly Twitch. You're just worried about your historic tech issues. Is a massively widespread issue, even if a few regions stayed up. This kind of stuff is so discouraging, man. I get so fucking frustrated. It's IRL Toolkit. Kai was down, but some people were still going. I think so. It could be IRL Toolkit. I don't know. I don't fucking know. Ugh. It's fine now, I think. Might be worth it to hire/contract someone to help you troubleshoot. I already have someone. It doesn't matter. I already have people that are working in real time. I have the IRL Toolkit. I have people over at Twitch side. I have someone in the house with me right now. You guys, all of your suggestions are things that I have addressed. Anyway, the thing that I was saying about this particular movie is that it's being done with Watermelon Co., Watermelon Pictures. So that's a good thing. The film was made in collaboration with Hind's mother, Wassam, the Palestine Red Crescent Society, and a cast of dedicated Palestinian actors, set entirely in the Red Crescent control room where Hind's final call was heard. Her voice anchors the story in reality. Out of respect, Hind is not portrayed on screen, yet her presence resonates in every frame. May Hind's story change us forever, an echo throughout history. So the people who made it are actually, or the people who are responsible for distributing it are actually good. It's like I said, it's Alana Hadid, friend of the show. She's Palestinian. It's Watermelon Co. So like, I think it's being done in an ethical manner. So that's good. The other issue, of course, is that there are still people from Hind's immediate family that are still stuck in Gaza. But I think ultimately, like, this gives me confidence. This gives me confidence that it's being conducted in the most ethical way. It's just that I really, really fucking hope that people, when they see it, don't just go. I really hope that this, why be critical of this film and not the one that won the Academy Award? Wait, what do you mean? I'm not critical of this film either. I'm critical of the audience reception. Also, what the fuck do you mean? The people that made No Other Land are literally also straight up Palestinians with their own fucking phone cameras. And Israel ended up executing one of the people that played a formative role in the filming. An Israeli settler literally killed someone that made the movie. I'm simply stating that while this is, like, I already said this. I told you, like, broad awareness initiatives is incredibly important. And the reason why I feel conflicted about it is because on the one hand, I participate in broad awareness initiatives as well. On the other hand, obviously, if this movie was like silly to make, then it means everything that I've done so far is also silly and there's not warranted at all. It's completely powerless. I guess the only reason why I feel this way is because, like, you got Joaquin Phoenix and like George Clooney, like actually fucking incredibly famous people associated with the project. The movie itself is not the issue. Do you see what I mean? The movie itself is not the problem. And BM says, okay, you hugged, you cried, you clapped, that's great. But now it's time to honor the memory of Hind and cut any and all ties with Israel and Zionists. That's straight up. That's it. And I know I don't have to say, I know I don't have to say that about, like, Alana Hadid or any number of different people that work at Watermelon Pictures. Obviously, they already have done that. But my expectation, I hope, is not that these guys just like simply put their name with this, simply associate themselves with this project as like executive producers, but go beyond that and demand change within Hollywood, because these people are real movers and shakers in Hollywood as well. Do you see what I mean?
And the line dropped. The paramedics were no longer responding. Hind was still on the call, alone and surrounded by the dead bodies of her family members. It was beginning to get dark. The Red Crescent had gotten her mother on the phone. They all did what they could to get her to keep talking, but she began to fall silent for long periods of time. When they asked why she wasn't speaking, she said, "Every time I talk, blood comes out of my mouth and makes my clothes dirty, and I don't want my mum to have to clean it." They told her to stay in the car where they could find her, and that if night comes and they still haven't arrived, she should close her eyes so she doesn't see the tanks.
حبيبتي والله لو بإيدي لأجيكي.
The call broke off shortly after. They tried to call again and again, but no one answered. No one could reach the area for nearly 2 weeks. Once they did, they saw the Red Crescent ambulance that had come to try rescue her was a burned-out shell, with almost nothing remaining of the paramedics' bodies. Further up the street, the door and parts of the hood from Hind's car had been torn off. The windows were blown out, and it was covered in bullet holes. A total of 335 bullets had been fired at the car. The body of Hind's uncle was still dangling from the driver's seat. The car smelled of decomposing corpses from the dead bodies of the 5 children piled together in the back seat. The family was buried together outside Al Shifa Hospital, and their murder became a rallying cry for activists around the world. Students raised awareness about Hind on university campuses worldwide, and the Hind Rajab Foundation was set up to prosecute Israeli soldiers accused of war crimes internationally. When Tunisian filmmaker Kauthar Ben Hania heard the audio recording of Hind, she decided to drop everything and make the film, saying, "I cannot accept a world where a child calls for help and no one comes." She got the full 70-minute audio from the Red Crescent and testimonies from Hind's mother and others who had been over the phone, reconstructing the story. Once it was underway, names like Brad Pitt, Joaquin Phoenix, Rooney Mara, Jonathan Glazer, and Alfonso Cuarón signed on as executive producers. It was then nominated for the Golden Lion, the highest prize given to films at the Venice Film Festival, to mark important contributions to cinema. In a time where people are constantly exposed to short bursts of violence and suffering online, Ben Hania focused on the retelling of violence through Hind's voice rather than video. In this way, she said, cinema can preserve a memory and cinema can resist amnesia. The movie, a simple story about a child being trapped alone and no one coming to rescue her, may do exactly that.
Along this remote mountain track is a key to understand.
It's not just cinema, though. It's something that's actively happening right now. No, like I said, everyone, it takes a village. Everyone has a role to play in this. If you're an artist, you use your art to communicate and create broad awareness. If you're a movie maker, you use that. The only reason why I feel kind of conflicted is because, like, this is just an ongoing incident. Like, this is an ongoing issue. This is an ongoing genocide. You know what I mean? It's still happening. It's not something in the rear view mirror.
Standing.
I don't know. All right. Zora Mamdani was on Chris Hayes, friend of the show, two friends of the show, talking to one another, chopping it up.
Today, multiple outlets are reporting that Donald Trump is attempting to tip the scales of New York City's mayoral election by offering some of the candidates jobs in the administration in order to help Andrew Cuomo defeat Zora Mamdani. Ever since the 33-year-old Mamdani won the Democratic primary in June, the Fox News viewer, who is our president, has been taking a special interest in the New York City race.
If a communist gets elected to run New York, it can never be the same, but we have tremendous power at the White House to run places when we have to. You have a lot of crooked things going on in New York. We're going to straighten out New York. Maybe we're going to have to straighten it out from Washington.
Now, the New York Times is reporting that advisors to Trump are trying to induce the current incumbent mayor, Eric Adams, to leave the race by dangling an administration job for him. Quote, the talks have also involved finding a possible place in the administration for the Republican candidate, Curtis Sliwa. Citing three people with knowledge of the discussions, the Times reports the goal would be to give former Governor Andrew Cuomo a better chance of defeating Mamdani in November's general election. Political reports Adams has been offered a position at the Department of Housing and Urban Development, according to a person with direct knowledge of the offer, and that the mayor met with the president's team during his visit this Monday, to Florida. A spokesperson for the Eric Adams campaign said Mayor Adams has not met with Donald Trump. He is not dropping out of the race. But it would not be the first time Trump has used Adams to influence New York City politics, of course. You'll remember, shortly after taking office, Trump's Department of Justice dropped corruption charges against the mayor in exchange for Trump-favored immigration policies and cooperation from the mayor for them. That move prompted the resignation of over half a dozen prosecutors in both Manhattan U.S. Attorney's Office and Main Justice, including the acting U.S. Attorney for the Southern District. Joining me now to respond to all this news on a very busy day is the Democratic candidate for New York City Mayor, Assemblyman Zora Mamdani. It's good to have you here. Nice to meet you in person for the first time.
Good to be here. Thank you for having me.
So what do you think about all this?
I think it's outrageous. And I think oftentimes in a race such as this, it's tempting to think of this solely in the question of how does this impact the race? But this is an affront to our city's democracy. This is an affront to the values that make so many of us proud to be Americans, that we could choose our own leaders, not that our leaders pick themselves or their friends. And we're seeing in this time when Donald Trump has taken snap from hungry New Yorkers, has passed legislation that would throw millions of New Yorkers off their health insurance, that we have Democrats in Andrew Cuomo and Eric Adams working with this administration to try and subvert the will of Democratic primary voters right here in New York City.
Is there a Democratic argument that there's some problem with this split field of four candidates that ends up with a person being the mayor of the city with 40% of the vote? Like, is there, because we have, we had the ranked choice voting in the primary, which I think is an important thing. You've now got this very weird situation where the next mayor might win 35-40% of the vote. And there's a question about what that would mean for that mayor's representative ability in the city.
I don't think any of those questions are motivating Donald Trump. Or
that's fair.
Thinking about the actions that they take. And I think that if this was just a question of, am I going to face three candidates or one candidate, I wouldn't have concerns. I'm just as confident of beating Andrew Cuomo today as I was yesterday. My concern, however, is what these so-called leaders are willing to give up in the name of securing power. That is why so many New Yorkers are turned off by our politics, because they see no relevance of their struggles in the conversations that are taking place.
You know, there's reporting over the summer that there's a phone call between Donald Trump and Andrew Cuomo, previously undisclosed, reported by the Times August 6th, that Trump spoke about the race directly with Cuomo, an old associate and foil, according to 3 people briefed on the call who were not authorized to discuss it. Andrew Cuomo denies that they talked about the race. I mean, is your read on this situation that
if it's Zoran Sliwa and Cuomo in the race, will he still win? Yes. I mean, look, I don't want to say that it's a given. It's a 100%. Certainty. Nothing is, but I mean, he's looking pretty good right now. It's Zoran's race to lose. Am I effing again? Fuck. What is happening? This time it's Twitch side. Uh-oh. I'm still here. I don't know what's going on. Oh, so it's probably a toolkit issue. No, I'm not gonna do it. Ay. Oh God, IRL toolkit is getting fucking ass blasted again, which is really shitty because tomorrow I do. I did that so there's no delay. Okay. Tomorrow I have a collab with Miguel. It's supposed to be tomorrow with LA Taco and Miguel. So I'm annoyed that if IRL Toolkit is busted again because it's getting like DDoSed again. Restart your router. Man, shut the fuck up. It's not my router. Oh my God. It's a mediator that I use. It's like a cloud server that I use that is supposed to be a fucking failsafe for my stream dropping off. If there's any sort of issues on this side, I use the cloud server to like connect it to a different source of internet. It's not about my router. Probably better to not explain that sort of stuff. No, people who are fucking attacking IRL Toolkit already know what they're doing. They see it. There's no getting around it. You can't just like hide that you're getting the service that you're using is getting DDoSed. That's the reason why Hassan the Whiner. That's the reason why Kai Cenat's dropping off too. 19-month subscriber banned. Permit. Have fun. Yeah, they're just gonna fucking they're gonna go crazy on that shit until the Kai stream is over, pretty much. And it's crazy because it cooks every other streamer that uses the same servers. Well, not the same servers, but like the same structure.
Trump is pulling for Cuomo.
Absolutely. And I think Trump is making that very clear, that this is his choice for mayor of New York City. It's Andrew Cuomo. And he's willing to use every single tool and tactic at his disposal to try and assist Andrew Cuomo in that same pursuit. And what we're seeing right now is to offer and consider positions for 2 candidates in this race to try and make this one-on-one. It shows just how threatened he is by what our administration would be, which is a fulfillment of the thing that he ran on but has since betrayed, which is a promise of a more affordable life for Americans.
You know, for people that are watching this that consider themselves, Democrats are sort of in the big tent, right? And say they're in the big anti-Trump coalition, okay? And they've known Andrew Cuomo as a known quantity for a long time. And there's a feeling right now as they watch sort of Governor Pritzker in Illinois and Governor Newsom and, mayors in Chicago and D.C. and Baltimore deal with this sort of Godzilla-like figure, right? Who's sort of wreaking havoc all over the places. That we need someone who's strong, who's experienced, who can go toe-to-toe, who maybe is kind of a tough guy. And this Zoran Mamdani seems like a nice guy. He seems charming. He's 33 years old.
Why is Trump backing Cuomo instead of Sliwa? Election viability. If they get Sliwa out, who is the designated Republican on the Republican ticket, then he can push all the Republicans to vote for Cuomo. That's his only shot at possibly ensuring that Zoran doesn't win. Sliwa is not going to win, obviously. He never has. But Andrew Cuomo at least is has enough name recognition from people that have voted in New York that he could potentially put together a coalition of Republican voters and Andrew Cuomo knowers to maybe ensure that Zoran doesn't win. Having said that, still very difficult. Yeah. Advisor President Trump have discussed the possibility of giving Mayor Eric Adams and Curtis Sliwa positions in the admin to clear the field and damage the chances of Zoran Mamdani. Worth considering what the point of this is. If Mamdani winning would be such an asset for the right, why are they trying to get him to lose? A sincere concern for the well-being of New York? A genuine fear that Mamdani will topple capitalism in the city? Do these seem plausible? Why are they so worried? Why are the Democrats so worried about Mamdani winning? If the Republicans are this worried about Mamdani winning, why the fuck are the Democrats so worried about it? Why are the Republicans so scared? Now, Osito is joking when he says, is this a sincere concern for the well-being of New York or a genuine fear that Mamdani will topple capitalism in the city? No. It's because if you give socialists an ounce of control and power, it will unfortunately spark a light under the asses of every American that will look to this and go, wait a minute, there is actually an alternative. There are people who call themselves socialists who happen to be in favor of real modest social democratic reforms and will fight for it tooth and nail. Why doesn't my local politician do that? That's what the Democrats are afraid of. Well, some. Some are not. Some actually do think that this is good for the party. But others are genuinely afraid of that. Republicans, on the other hand, are afraid that if this kind of populist momentum actually happens within the base of the Democratic Party, that then causes the Democrats to reflect on and by force change the trajectory of the party's policy platform, then all of a sudden Republicans are in big trouble because now they actually have to fucking get way more creative. They actually have to legislate. They actually have to concede on some of the the real anti-capitalist policies that might be getting implemented. That's it. That's it. Because as I've said over and over again, if Democrats were actual fighters, if they were the real left flank, if they were really on board with even social democratic reforms, the Republicans would have to advocate against those reforms because they can't have that. They are beholden to their corporate benefactors. They're the right flank. But in the absence of any sort of initiative from the Democrats, Donald Trump can run around and fucking say stuff like, I'm the real working class hero. I'm the real hero of the working class. I'm going to save the American working class. Well, you could only get away with saying that because the Democrats, don't try to become the heroes of the working class. They don't actually push for anything that helps the working class. They're just marginally better than the Republicans. They're diet Republicans. I don't think they're afraid. They love using socialism, and Mamdani is the perfect thing to attack. If that was the case, they would literally celebrate Mamdani winning. Do you not